Hello, everyone! It's Mrs. B here to begin our first unit about safety when dealing with digital devices. We have 4 total lessons in this unit: digital communications and security, digital access and wellness, copyright on the internet, and digital literacy. So let's get started with lesson 1, digital communications and security. First, we're going to start off with some terminologies we're going to use when talking about digital communication. First, we're going to talk about formal and informal writing. Now, formal writing is our academic writing, using proper spelling and grammar when communicating. We would also use formal writing when speaking with a business or applying for scholarships, applying to go to college. These are the types of writing that you're going to want to use for your schoolwork as well. Informal writing is the exact opposite. This is our casual conversations that we would have with our best friends, with our family, and with other important people in our lives. So, to put it in easier terms, the Instagram DM that I'm going to send my best friend Andrea is going to sound and look a whole lot different than the professional email that I plan to send Mr. Bailey. With Mr. Bailey, I'll be using proper spelling, grammar, sentence structure, and I'm going to be ending with a salutation. Whereas with my best friend, I will be LOLing and OMGing it up. So I'll be using all of those abbreviations, all kinds of popular terminologies that I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable sending to my boss. Next, we have texting, and texting is the exchange of messages between 2 portable devices. So that would include our Facebook Messenger and our Snapchat messaging. Anytime messages are transmitted to each other through your cell phones or through a computer, that's what we would consider texting. The next term we have is blog. Now, back when the internet was starting to get very popular, blogs were ways that people would gain a following online. So they would post everything that they went through the day, and they would make daily posts to get people to read their blogs and comment. Nowadays, we may know these as vlogs, as some of our favorite YouTubers will make videos talking about the things that happened to them through the day. The next term we have is social media. I think you all know just as well as I do what this term is, but when we think about it, this is a place where we can interact and create with people in our communities and around the world. Last but not least, we have media sharing. Media sharing is the technical term for when we upload a picture to Snapchat stories or upload a TikTok. This is the actual act of us creating and uploading to the internet. I now want to go a little bit into phone etiquette. I have this funny video from Amy Anobi, and she has great thoughts about when is an appropriate time to text and how other people feel if you pull out your phone and text while they're speaking.
BRB, IGTG, kind of hosting an RCS. Really cool show.
Welcome back. We're talking texting and cell phones. Way back in the day, there were no phones. Then Alexander Graham Bell came along and woo, ring-a-ding-ding, we be getting calls all day. Today, you carry your own talking device in your pocket. So how are you supposed to handle that? First, ringtones off at dinner. Ringtones off at work. If you're expecting a call, vibrate it. Texting can't always be avoided. Warn who you're with that you're about to text. Don't pretend you can talk and text at the same time. You can't. Just like you can't text and drive at the same time. Don't text and drive. Also, if you make eye contact with me, I think you're listening to me. So don't text under a table and lie to me with your eyes. As far as sending photos, if you wouldn't send the photo to a young version of your mom, don't send that photo. Don't put in print or picture what can be screen grabbed and shared with strangers. Voice memos? Keep them clean, y'all. The president is listening. Don't text the wrong person. That's a mistake your mom makes. This feels counterintuitive, but when you hear big news, happy or sad, text your response. Heard your dog sick. My condolences. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Texts don't seem very personal, but because they're fast, it's actually pretty cool to get a little love bump from a friend. Also, for the love of love, spell things correctly. I think if you're texting friends and you have a bunch of slang terms or abbreviations, good on ya. But when texting parents, new friends, or potential relationships, spell things right and spell check for accuracy. Why? Because you're smart, so show it. Thanks for sending in your questions using hashtag #SmartManners. Here's one. That person who's always futzing on their phone while talking. How do I get them to realize it's rude? Hey, it's a little rude that you keep picking up your phone while we're talking. Do you mind putting it down for just a bit? If they really can't do it, maybe that's just who your friend is, and you have to get used to it. But if you really try and connect with them, hopefully they'll listen to you. Cheer up, we're back with another episode of Modern Manners next week. See you later, and now I feel older than your mom.
I am certain that many of us understand the disappointment of telling somebody important in our lives something that awesome that's happened, yet they pull out their phone and stop listening for a brief moment. We need to be very cognizant of when we are doing that to important people in our life. Sometimes they're trying to tell you something that matters, and when you pull out your phone, it could really hurt their feelings. We're going to switch gears a little bit now and start talking about digital security. I want you to take a moment and think about the ways that you protect yourself and your personal information online. The next video I'm going to show you comes from the United States Department of Homeland Security. He's going to show you a little bit about a popular scam that happens through our emails and even now through our text messaging.
You've seen the headlines. Maybe you are one of those affected. You've changed your passwords for all of your accounts. You watch your bank statements and credit reports. You can rest easy now, right? Wrong. Anyone with an email account is a potential victim for a digital attack. And there are more than 100 million phishing attacks every single day. Phishing is when a cyber criminal sends out a mass email trying to trick you into opening an attachment or hyperlink in order to steal your sensitive data. Spear phishing is a more targeted form of a phishing attack. The attacker uses information about you, acquired through social engineering, to convince you to trust the email and its content. Where do they get this information? It could be from large data breaches, or from social media sites if you haven't maximized your privacy settings. Let's take a look at an example of a spear phishing attack. You receive an email from what appears to be your favorite online shopping site. The email doesn't surprise you because you do have an account with them. The logo and colors seem authentic, but look closer. First, look at who this email is from. This clearly is not an email address associated with the shopping website. Next, look for spelling errors, grammatical mistakes, and poor syntax. Almost always, these emails will direct you to click on a link or open an attachment. Let's look at the link this sender included. The name may look authentic, but by hovering your mouse over it, you can see where the link actually goes. Seem less authentic now? Never open any suspicious attachments or hyperlinks. These often contain viruses designed to steal your passwords, weaken your security, or even seize control of your computer, almost always without you knowing about it. So, what can you do to protect yourself? Delete suspicious emails. Never open attachments or hyperlinks from unknown senders. Be wary of unusual email from people you know. If the email has a random link and nothing else, it's probably not the person you know sending it. If you receive an unusual communication from your bank, credit card company, or some other commercial entity, contact them directly to verify. Know the risk. Raise your shield.
Though he did not mention text messaging in the video, I still feel it's very important for me to go ahead and point this out. Sometimes you may get an unknown link on your cell phone from an unknown phone number. Be careful prior to clicking that link. These phishing scams have been known to occur through your phones as well. If you get a suspicious link from a friend or from somebody that you may know, reach out to them and let them know that it's very possible that they may have been scammed. Maybe they did mean to deliberately send you that link, but make sure you know what you are clicking before you click. So to keep it simple, phishing is a way that scammers try to get personal and financial information from a potential client of a credible business. So if you see in the example email that I have on the screen, you see that that comes from the eBay billing department. The first thing you're going to want to do is check that email address. If it's from some place like emailbilling@yahoo.com, Most likely, it's not a credible email. These big businesses, such as Amazon, Facebook, and eBay, will have their own separate email domains and will not likely use Yahoo or Hotmail. If you continue reading the message, they're saying that there are issues with billing information. And if you were to scroll down, they would provide a link to let you change that billing information. You want to watch out to make sure that link is an appropriate link and coming from the actual website. When in doubt, don't hesitate to call that website's customer service to verify if there are truly any issues. Last but not least, I want to talk to you about one of my favorite things, online shopping. The technical term for this is e-commerce. If you look on the screen, there are 4 facts about e-commerce. First, websites like Google and Facebook and Amazon make money by showing you advertisements on their platform. So how do they figure out what advertisements are perfect for you? This is where it gets a little scary. A lot of data and information is captured whenever you are online. So if you search something on the internet or if you post something, they're going to determine what products are correct for you. To show you an example, I am going to go to my Facebook page and show you the very first example that comes up. So the first page that came up for me was an ad for custom ink. Now, a little backstory on why I may receive this ad. I used to be in a position where I would create t-shirts for extracurricular activities. So custom ink thinks that I'm a potential client that may purchase t-shirts from them in the future. As you search online and post to your social media accounts, you are creating a digital identity and digital footprint for yourself. This is 100% connected to e-commerce. By looking at what you've posted and what you've searched, they can determine whether you will be a potential customer for that website. But you have to be careful about scammers. Even on Facebook, sometimes a business that's not so credible and is trying to scam you will purchase advertising space in order to get you to give them information. If you have doubts about a website, a quick Google search with the word scam should usually tell you if this website is one that you can trust or not. You have to be very careful when giving out your information online, especially to some of these companies. All in all, make sure you read the fine print. If you see an advertisement for a game that you might want to play, be sure to check the application permissions. If it's a game about brushing teeth and it's asking for permission to make calls from your device, it's probably not an ad that you really want to download. So let's sum it all up. First, digital and social media is a wonderful way to communicate with the people in our lives, but we need to be careful whether we are using formal or informal writing. Our audience is very, very important when deciding which of these types of writing we need to use. Next, digital security is extremely important for us to be very, very careful about. There are scammers out there using phishing schemes in order to try to get your location and get more deeper information about you online. Last but not least, digital advertisements are created based on our digital footprint. Using information that we've posted on our social medias as well as our search history, they can determine whether we would be a potential client. Although some of these potential advertisements could be scams. Watch out to make sure that this is a credible place. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time for Lesson 2, Digital Access and Wellness.